Hello everyone, welcome to today's Top 5 from American Life 365, July 27th, 2024. Harris erases Trump's lead, WSJ poll finds. Paris Olympics open with tour de force on the River Seine. U.S. accuses prominent short seller Andrew Left of fraud. On U.S. trip, Netanyahu receives clear message on Gaza War, wrap it up. Sabotage hits France's rail lines as Olympics begins. Dow Jones. Harris erases Trump's lead, WSJ poll finds. July 27, 2024. The presidential race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is essentially tied, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll that shows heightened support for her among non-white voters and dramatically increased enthusiasm about the campaign among Democrats. The former president leads the current vice president 49% to 47% in a two-person matchup, but that is within the margin of error of plus or minus 3.1 percentage points. Trump held a 6-point lead earlier this month over President Biden before he exited the race and backed Harris. Paris Olympics open with tour de force on the River Seine. July 27, 2024. Paris. The Paris Olympics broke with more than a century of Summer Games tradition on Friday night with an unprecedented opening ceremony that paraded athletes on boats along the River Seine to kick off the French capital's $9 billion extravaganza. Despite driving rain that soaked the 300,000 spectators on the riverbanks, Paris went ahead with a tour de force of overwhelming, unapologetic Frenchness that was years in the making. Can dancers high-kicked along the banks of the Seine, Lady Gaga descended a golden staircase in a cabaret scene echoing Josephine Baker, and decapitated Marie Antoinettes appeared in the windows of riverfront palaces. The 3-hour show, which saw more than 200 delegations on 85 boats wend past a string of stages on the nearly 4-mile course, culminated in a laser show and Celine Dion singing Edith P's hymn Amore from a stage nestled at the center of the Eiffel Tower. French sprinter Marie-Josée Peri, who won 3 Olympic golds in the 1990s, and 2-time Olympic Judo champion Riner carried the flame to the Cauldron, which will float above the Tuileries Gardens in a hot air balloon for the duration of the Games. Looking on from a covered stand of VIPs near the Eiffel Tower, the assembled dignitaries included French President Emmanuel Macron, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach, and U.S. First Lady Jill Biden. Dow Jones. U.S. accuses prominent short seller Andrew Left of fraud. July 27, 2024. Federal prosecutors on Friday charged famed short seller Andrew Left with fraud, accusing him of routinely making exaggerated or misleading statements about stocks to quickly profit on price moves caused by his reports. The charges mark a major turn of fortune for the bombastic investor, who called his firm Citron Research because it analyzes the lemons of the stock market. He scored a major hit a decade ago with well-timed bets against one-time high-flyer Valent Pharmaceuticals International but hadn't matched that success more recently. An indictment returned by a Los Angeles grand jury accused Left of essentially trading on his name and reputation, announcing his bets and naming price targets far from where a stock was trading. Left quickly closed his positions after his statements caused prices to move in the direction he wanted, the indictment says. Left, reached Friday morning, had no immediate comment. James Spurtis, an attorney for Left, said the cases are based on a defective theory and unfairly target his client for legitimate opinions and trading activity. Mr. Left does his research and shows his work, Spurtis said. That sets him apart from every pump and dump defendant in history. His appearances on cable news networks and statements on social media magnified the impact of his reports and caused others to follow his bets, according to prosecutors. Dow Jones. On U.S. trip, Netanyahu receives clear message on Gaza War, wrap it up. July 27, 2024. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu entered a volatile U.S. political arena this week, hoping to burnish his image with a fiery speech to Congress and shore up support from both President Biden and Donald Trump for Israel's war against Hamas. His defense of Israel's conduct of the war in a packed House chamber drew standing ovations, alleviating concerns among many back home that the longtime leader could attract the wrong sort of attention amid divisions among Americans over Washington's support for Israel's deadly military operations in Gaza. But Netanyahu also received a clear message from Democratic and Republican leaders: end the fighting. Let's get the deal done so we can get a ceasefire to end the war, Vice President Kamala Harris, now the Democratic Party's expected presidential nominee, said Thursday after meeting with Netanyahu. Trump also urged the Israeli leader to end the war. "I want him to finish up and get it done quickly," the former president said in an interview with Fox News on Thursday. On Friday, the two men met for the first time since the former president left the Oval Office. Trump, seated with Netanyahu and others at a table at the Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, said he is the only one capable of preventing the war in Gaza from spreading throughout the Middle East. "If we win, it'll be very simple, it'll all work out and very quickly," the Republican presidential candidate told reporters. Dow Jones. Sabotage hits France's rail lines as Olympics begins. July 27, 2024. Paris, France's rail network was the target of a major act of sabotage Friday, hours before the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, bringing services on several high-speed rail lines to a halt in disruptions that are expected to last for days. Officials said fires were set at around 4 a.m. local time at 3 sites around the country's rail network in a coordinated and precisely targeted attack. The alleged arsons disrupted services on the high-speed lines connecting to Paris from the north, southwest and east. The saboteurs cut and then burned signaling cables, requiring laborious repairs that will take days, officials said. Rail workers happened upon another team of saboteurs in the middle of the night who were attempting to damage the high-speed line that serves southeast France, officials said. The sabotage marks a stunning breach of the sweeping security dragnet that France erected to shield the games from myriad threats, ranging from Islamist terrorist groups to sabotage by far-left activists or adversaries such as Russia or Iran.